Who Dey? Happy Victory Monday to all you Bengal fans out there.
Yes,
Welcome back
sir.
to another episode of Gridiron Jungle, hosted by your two favorite Bengals fans. My name is Rich, here with my brother Philly. Phil, how you feeling after that
Man,
ugly, not really well-deserved win, but it's a 1-0 in the win column. We cannot complain about something that we've been asking for the longest, which is a victory to start the season, a victory against a division rival, um, and a conference opponent as well. And it's a road victory. So we kind of
absolutely.
checked the boxes on everything. As ugly as it was, we are 1-0. Phil, I'm gonna ask you how you doing and how you feeling, but I just want to address the elephant in the room. 1 week into the season, you're already calling for Zach's job. Talk to me, man.
Already,
What's going
man.
on? What's going
I'll,
on, man?
hey,
We disagree on this one, but go ahead.
that's cool, man. If we want
I
to take
feel
it there,
bad because you got me defending Zach. So come on, man, let's go.
if we want to take it there in the open, I am good with that. That's a great way to kick it off. I think it's gonna be real compelling. But, I'll be honest. Like for this to be, what are we in now? Five, year six of
This is
Zach
year
Taylor,
6. Yeah, this
six
is
of Zach
year
Taylor, and
2019.
year five. No, year six. No, year five for Joe. Or
Yeah.
yeah, and for us to come out with this type of gameplay, especially after starters played the most they've ever played in the preseason under Zach Taylor, felt really safe. It felt really vanilla. Like it felt from an offensive standpoint, like we were still in the preseason, like we were just like trying to figure things out. And with the expectations of this offense, with the money we spent this offseason, I don't want to see that performance from our offense even in week one. Like I felt like it was the New England game again, only the defense saved us. After the Bengals went up 17-10, Zach clearly just it was like he just threw everything out the window. It was like he forgot kind of what we were doing. Because there was a point, even though people talk about how good the opening drive, I think it was that third drive where we scored the touchdown to Fant. That was my favorite drive. And I felt like they could have really built on that. And it was like in the second half, they didn't do anything that worked in the first half. And I just didn't understand that. Everybody talks about the fourth quarter where there was negative 18 yards of offense, which was the absolute worst since they've been tracking the stat since 1991. But 7 yards of total offense in the second half is just absurd. Like that's not leaning on the defense. Like that's literally shutting down your own attack. Like I don't feel like Cleveland did anything special to stop us. Like for us to have 7 yards in the offense in the second half, like we should have been opening with how spectacular the Browns defense was, and that just wasn't the case. You know what I mean? And go ahead.
Oh, real quick, because just to correct you, this is year 6 of Joe and year 7 of Zach,
Okay,
which
okay.
kind of sounds crazy. All right, and as we continue, if you notice in the first few moments, a mic issue, we got that cleared up. So just FYI. But yeah, keep going. I didn't want to interrupt your full thoughts, but yeah,
Oh,
this I
for
just
sure.
wanted. I saw that and I made sure year 6 of Joe, year 7 of Zach.
And then my next beef or topic was just how conservative we were in like those third and medium, I'll call it. Too many quick check downs, just died short of the first down. Like I just don't understand why that's even in play, whether that's a Joe thing or whether that's a Zach thing. That just shouldn't be the situation. I recall at least three on the top of my head where again it seems like this happens every single year. The play calls are late coming in. Like that shouldn't happen. There should be 5, 7, 10 plays that Joe can go to if the play doesn't get in by X time. Like that procedural stuff should not happen, especially when you have a quarterback the caliber of Joe Burrow. I would argue that I'd rather have Joe just call the plays than lean on Zach anyway. So that being an issue is just
Do you feel like Joe doesn't have the agency to make those changes on his own? Like, does he have the freedom to? I think he does. I don't. Obviously, I know exactly what you're talking about. Really early in the game, they were very slow with getting it in, and we know sometimes there's equipment issues and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Either way, I think Joe was seasoned enough, and we trust him enough to where if something's breaking down, you can go ahead and make your call. I don't know what the protocol is and what the actual routine is for them when that happens, but I know maybe last year, a couple years ago, there was a conversation when I think in Tennessee, I can't remember, his headset went out. He let it drive on his own.
He called however many plays on his own.
Yeah, obviously, I get your point. I don't want to dismiss it because that should be something the coaches. It's the same way we expect the players to be ready and locked in. The coaches to be locked in as well. You should know exactly what's going on. So, all right, I got you. You got anything else?
And outside of that, I talked about that the Noah Fant scoring the touchdown. That was like my favorite drive. The play that he scored on, good call, the motion, the quick hit. That was like the only play from a design standpoint where I felt like they really put stress on the defense. There was nothing really vertically to stress the defense. I think of that one deep pass down the sideline that Jamar didn't have a chance for. The one that got broken up, but that was like the two shots that were even taken. Like that's just really frustrating. I know everybody likes how smooth the first drive went, but I personally didn't bang the table for them to sign T and Jamar for it to be the Chase Brown show. Like, don't get me wrong, I love Chase Brown just as much as the next person, but no, that's not what you've been successful doing. Like, I love it in that first drive because you're Cleveland's probably expecting us to just drop back and throw it like we normally do, and then you're like, okay, now I got to prepare for this. But there should be a plan to build off of that. Like, I love the balance, but balance for us is 60-40, 65-35. I never want to see 50-50 ever. 23 runs, 23 passes. I never want to see that. And it just really, especially in that second half, once they had that 17-10 lead that they almost squandered, it felt like Zach was coaching not to lose the game instead of to win the game. And you can't play that way with the players that we have in this division. You just can't play that way. You can do that in high school and those lower leagues, but playing not to lose is how you lose. And kind of piggybacking on the not stressing the defense, Cleveland they were missing. I won't say they were banged up, but they were missing one of their starting corners in Martin Emerson. Like, take advantage of that. I don't think Yoshi had any targets. Like, they didn't take advantage of any mismatches that they had throughout the game. And nothing like you should have been scheming up Jamar. It's just really head scratching that just never happened, especially like late in the game, how much of a cushion the corners were given. It was just really mind-blowing to me. But the positive is we didn't lose the game because of him, and he didn't force Joe into playing hero ball, which we do tend to see sometimes. But if this becomes a trend, it's going to be a problem. And I hate to be this negative coming off of a win to open the season, which the last time we opened the season with a win, we went to the Super Bowl in 2021. So, I feel the way I feel, and I don't want to apologize for it, but I'm just glad we won. And when you put up 140 yards on offense and you win a game, you got to thank the good Lord above, because they ain't had no business winning that game.
Okay. And excuse the folks out there. We didn't even get into stats or anything. We'll get into that in a second. I just wanted to start this conversation because I saw Phil posted. Did you post this last night? Like, was this the same day as the game, or did you post it today?
It was like as the game was wrapping up.
Okay, got you. All right. So what you definitely made some valid points. I don't want to take that away. And I also think it's funny that you say you don't want to start so negative. Phil, this is a negative all. He can go deeper in the bag. As I'm sure you heard just last season on the pod. Okay, let's take a look at everything. And like I said, I'm upset with you because you're making me a Zach defender. I don't know how much of this I put on Zach. So when I think back to last year and some of the issues that we had, it's almost like it's a Uchi Wally Wally is a one mic moment, right? We talked about the lack of establishing the run, how important that was for our offense. We came out that first drive, we did it. I know you say you agreed with it, you know what I mean, the first drive, but you weren't happy with the game.
Mm-hmm.
One issue that I see right away, you just kind of made mention to it. We only ran 46 offensive plays. That's not good.
Mm-hmm.
That's not good. 23 passes, 23 rushes, 21 carries by Chase Brown for 43 yards. As good as he looked, and this was like an optical illusion game. I don't know if it's just you, but if you watch this game in whole, and maybe because of the way it was sequenced and we're so conditioned to the worst thing happening, the defense actually played much better than what it looked like if you just think about the beginning of the game. And Chase Brown looked much better than what you look at his numbers, right? It looked like he was just getting whatever he wanted to. He only averaged 2 yards a carry. Joe had the other 2 carries for 3 yards. The targets and the passes, like I said, when you only have 14 completions, there's not a lot of love going around. Not to mention only 113 yards of passing for Joe, which means, to your earlier point, not taking shots down the field. Not enough, especially if you re-sign Jamar and T. The thing I want to make sure that I highlight here, 2 years ago, this is the best defense in football, statistically.
Oh, yeah.
The Browns, 2 years ago.
Yeah.
2 years ago, okay? Last year, not so much. They look like they're trending more towards what was going on in 2023 than they were in 2024.
Mm-hmm.
The other thing is these division games, for some reason, playing in Cleveland has been an Achilles heel in the entire Zach Taylor era. It just is. I don't know what it is. I don't know what to call it. I personally I'm not really impressed by Cleveland's offense, but I do see their defense as formidable, and I see them as potentially being elite. And I think anytime you got 95, which is both of our number one edge rusher, there's that play, I know everybody's seen it, where he looped around, came up the middle, and just smacked Joe. You don't want to see that happening. But when you have your corners, Cleveland's corners, for example, with the type of pressure and with the type of the lack of airspace that they were really giving T and Jamar, that means you're holding on to the ball longer. I think Joe even talked about it in his press conference. Like, those corners are sticky, and at some point, 95 is coming, and I'm holding on to the ball a little bit longer than what I want to, and before you know it, he's there. I don't think they ever got in a full rhythm after Jim Schwartz made the adjustments after that first drive. First drive was beautiful. It's exactly what you want to see. You want to come down, you want to run, kind of get whatever you want. We didn't pass a ton, but we kind of established our will, established our dominance, 6 on the board. That's exactly how you want to open up. The rest of the game, not so much. We talked about that. Negative 18 yards, I believe, in the second half or the fourth quarter.
In the fourth quarter. 7 yards in the second half combined.
Yeah, 7 yards second half. Like, we had no business winning that game.
No.
The defense, got to give credit. So just to wrap that up, I don't think we're really giving as much credit needed to these division games and how tough it is. I talked all last season about winning close games is a skill. It's not luck. It's a skill. We talked about the Chiefs doing it. Like, that's a skill. When you are a team that can win close games, that is something that you'll take with you. Now, am I saying this is that? No, not necessarily, because anybody watching, anybody looking at those stats, no reason whatsoever we should have lost. And then this would have been, man, if we lost this game, it would have been really bad. It would have been really bad, especially with the performance.
If we lose this game, then me calling for Zach doesn't sound that crazy. I feel like everybody's saying that with me now.
I just don't. Yeah, mainly because of the emphasis on we're changing this up, we're changing that up. We're going to get off to a fast start, and you still lay an egg. That's cool. I just don't think I don't know how much consideration we're taking that's a tough team and when they know what you're doing.
Yeah,
like division rival. If we played against, I don't know, if we opened up against the Packers or the Bears or somebody like that, the Lions, these are all teams we got to play this year anyway. If we opened up against them and it was the same way, then I'd be much more concerned. With a division rival who knows what you're doing, know your game plan, know you in and out, I guess I kind of understand that a little bit differently. So I'm going to give a little bit grace there going into week 1. And that's the only thing that I want to kind of highlight. The second thing is the defense. Defense play.
Okay.
Go ahead. What you
I was gonna
say?
say, just before we move on, you talked about how formidable this Cleveland defense was at least 2 years ago, and kind of trending back towards that. You know, shout out to them. They played a good game, but despite the yardage, I think our defense played better. I can't really. We had 23 pressures. Cleveland had 11. Now I know it seemed like Myles Garrett had 11 in a row there in the fourth quarter, the way that he was, getting crazy there late in the game. But we had twice as many pressures as them. Granted, we only had 2 sacks, and Cleveland had 3, I believe. But maybe 2 of those 3 were on Joe. And again, like, gotta be ready. Again, just like they know us, we know them. So, like, come on.
Yeah, let's talk about where you were right. Not just the one thing, but one thing in particular I really want to highlight what you were saying that I was disappointed by. Offense looked very, very, very vanilla. Way too much running when it's not working for my liking. Like I said, 2 yards per carry. Yeah, that's not going to get it done. That's not good enough. And I guess it just feels good to know that we had a defense that showed up for us. Kind of reminds me of the Super Bowl defense where I've talked about this before. Let's make sure we make sure we get some turnovers, make sure we take care of the red zone. And that's what I care about the most. Obviously, they came down on their second drive, I believe, had the 1-yard rush by Sanders for a touchdown. But outside of that, we only allowed 16 points. That's something to highlight. I want to make sure we give credit for that. 2 interceptions. Even if they were, now here's the thing with the defense, and I've said this last year, I feel like every single drive. Part of it was because our linebackers were slower. I think we had much more speed this year, but we got to do something. I don't know what they got to do, but we have to do something about these slants and these over routes, these crossing routes.
We were terrible adjusting to the screen game.
Terrible at it, you know what I mean? And a quick slant. So once again, the reason it's hard to take credit for this game is because you have Judy running slants. If he doesn't drop those, he's good. Tillman, these balls are hitting the receiver's hands. They're not really there, but we just happen to be in the right place, right time, so I'll take it. Obviously, we have the benefit of having a missed field goal and a missed extra point from Cleveland's standpoint, which will help us win this game because I don't think our offense was doing enough. Yeah, no, that's real. That's real. We had 2 sacks, 0 points given up in the last 5 drives. We didn't allow a rush longer than 5 yards, something I'm really, really proud of. We look faster. Demetrius Knight flying all over the field, flying to the ball. Stewart getting his hands up at the line of scrimmage. I think he had 2 tip balls. Now granted, Flacco is 51 years old, right? So when we play some younger, more mobile quarterbacks, it's going to be a little bit more of an issue. Trey had a sack. BJ Hill had a sack. The pressure was there, but also we were playing against a statue. You know what I mean? Flacco's not out there, even though he did have a couple rushes where he had 6 yards, I think, total. Yeah. I guess I'm looking at it as, and listen, I'll admit, part of this is probably me just going. It just feels good to get a week 1 win.
For sure.
Week 1 win, excuse me. And I think that's how I'm looking at it, right? No matter how you get it, it's like going on a cold streak, right? You go on a cold streak, and no matter what area, what format the cold streak is in, once you get a win, no matter how cheap, no matter how desperate, no matter how unlikely, you just want to take it. And I just feel better. As ugly as it was ugly to the point where I don't want to brag about the win. I wasn't talking to all the Cleveland fans. I wasn't barking at them. But I also feel good knowing that we're not 0-1 starting the season against a team that we should have beat. And now we can go into Jacksonville, or excuse me, we go into Paycor playing against Jacksonville with a chance to go 2-0, which is what we've been screaming the whole time. Now, if we lose 4 after that, then none of this really matters. It doesn't matter what the order is. It's more so about stacking on top of each other. Do I believe that this is an exception and not the rule? I do. I don't think the defense is going to be bailing out the offense this year. I don't know what happened. I don't know what they look at. I don't know why they're so sleepy to start the season. But I know for a fact they're in the film room. They're in those meeting rooms right now, making sure that everybody gets the ball. You don't pay Jamar all that money just to have him get 5 targets, 2 catches for 26 yards. Ridiculous. Cleveland corners are good. They're not that good. And I know Joe gave them praise. They're not that good. You know what I mean? Shout out to them. Respect to them. T, 3 catches for 33 yards. Like you said, where's the creativity? We got to scheme our guys open. We have some things that we can go ahead and do. Noah Fayette had the same amount of targets as Jamar. 4 catches, 26 yards. Same amount of yards. 26 yards, man. That's got to be cleaned up. That's got to be better. We got to be a little bit more creative. Last year, everybody knew that we can kind of air it out on you and really run some good routes, really run some good schemes, take advantage of what the defense is trying to take away. But I'll take the victory, man. I'll take the victory. I love the fact that our defense actually played well. And I don't have any concern about the offense. I just think that they're going to be A-okay. They'll be back on track. I mean, are you ever going to see Joe go 14 for 23 for 113 again? I just don't see that happening.
I better not.
And it was fair. It was a low passing day across the entire NFL. I mean, Josh Allen went crazy. Lamar did his thing, but outside of that, I saw a lot of 180 something. I think Jordan Love, even for the hot start that he got off to, I don't think he threw for over 200 yards against Detroit. You know what I mean? So it's a little bit weird. I think that's just the week one, that weird stuff that happens during week one.
Sure.
You know what I mean? But I'm not ready to call for Zach's head. All of that to say that. I'm not ready to call for Zach's head just yet, especially after a win.
Hey, man. We'll just say, for me, strike one.
Hey, fair enough.
But the Browns had 5 guys with 6 targets or more. We didn't have a single player with 6 targets or more. That should never happen. I just, it just shouldn't happen.
The other thing, and I can't remember if I said this, but it's kind of like I said, if you start the game, the defense on that first opening drive, 4 penalties on one drive. That can't happen. I think that kind of overshadowed what a lot of people were looking at. So when you look at the numbers at the end, you think the defense played worse than what they did. And if you're watching the game, you also realize our turnovers weren't our guys making plays. Our turnovers were our guys taking advantage of the plays that the Browns messed up. You know what I mean? It's not like somebody just made a great read, cut off a route, picked up a fumble, caused a fumble. Nah, they were literally on fingertips of Browns players and not even errant passes. Passes that 100% should have been caught that weren't caught. I think Judy led the NFL in drops last season. Shout out to him. He had one, and then also, like I said, Tillman had one to lead to both 2 interceptions. And sometimes, with all the stuff that happened to us and all the unlucky bounces, it felt good to be on the other side of that. Can we maintain that? Can we continue to win that way? Absolutely not. Jacksonville will come in and pay court and ruin our opening day. Absolutely. So we got to get tighter, but I'm not all the way ready to throw our boy Zach under the bus yet. I think he bought himself a little bit more time. And
your boy.
I'm good with that. Yeah, nah. That's not my boy. Your boy. Your man's.
Yeah. But go ahead. I was gonna say, piggybacking on what you said, I definitely, you talked about Demetrius Knight, and I thought the rookies in general performed really well. None of them, in my opinion, looked like rookies, which is what you want to see. I was texting, various people throughout the game, and Shamar made an impact on the first drive all the way throughout the game. I mean, I thought he was great. Again, PFF is just a tool, but he was the highest rated defensive rookie out of all rookies. So I thought that was great. He really showed me why he earned the nickname the Menace. I'm sure you saw the clip. I'm sure everybody saw the clip of him against DeJuan Jones. DeJuan Jones is every bit the same size, if not bigger than both Amarius Mims and Orlando Brown Jr. And he threw him literally like a rag doll. I mean, it was fun to watch, as a Bengals fan. Like you said, Demetrius Knight flying all over the field. And there was that one instance where it looked like Logan Wilson may have had a concussion, and Barrett Carter came in, green dot right away, calling the plays in the huddle for the defense. It was maybe 5, 6, 7 snaps that he had to do that for. So to be able to come in and do that, that's big time. Dylan Fairchild was also respectable in his debut, and I was really happy with the rookies, and I just wanted to shout them out for sure.
I tell you who did have Yeah, you're 100% right. I agree with you. I'll tell you who did have a little bit of a rough day. Now,
No more than a little bit. I know where you're going.
you talking about number 75?
Okay, never mind. I thought you was
Yeah.
going somewhere else. But later, let's talk about that. I like where let's talk about it.
Well, you gotta take it with a grain of salt. This is a generational. This guy's already got his jacket lined up in Canton. Right, Miles Garrett is going to the Hall of Fame. There was that possession. I think it was the fourth quarter when he had 2 straight sacks. Another one, the third one, it wasn't a sack, but he was right there and got the hurry and the pressure to kind of cause everything. That's just, you can do nothing about it. We've seen, when I'm thinking about like in recent memory, defensive players that are just dominant, I'm thinking about the run J.J. Watt had. I'm thinking about Aaron Donald. And Miles Garrett is right up in there. If he didn't play in Cleveland, he'd be getting a lot more recognition about the way he wreaks havoc in these games. He got a lot of it a couple years ago, like I said, when they were the number 1 defense, but they lost that first playoff game to Houston, I believe. If you're going to be our starting left tackle and you're going to be our captain, and I don't have any smoke or shade for Orlando Brown, but you just got to be a little bit better than that. I know it's a Hall of Famer. I know this is an all-timer. Want to see you do a little bit better. Your footwork. You know he's going to get off to a good jump. We got to protect 9 better. And you know it's just going to be a long day. You just got to make sure you lock in and focus on – you're going to get beat. That's what happens. But you got to, it's a tall task, so I'm not going to dwell too much on it. But it was a rough day, and he gives everybody a rough day when you go against him. But I do want to see better communication against the offensive lines, especially when you have these stunts going on. That kind of goes back to what we mentioned. Division rival of Ohio. You know these teams in and out. You know what kind of line stunts. And we talked about this even leading up about how good the defensive line for Cleveland was going to be, especially against the pass rush, which once again, going back to Joe, I understand, or Zach, I understand why they want to run the ball and establish that, because you don't want to get in a game where you're just dropping back in this pressure all the time. It's like playing anybody played college football. Maybe not this year's, but last year's. Offensive line play isn't that good. So you only got a little bit of time before you got to get that thing out. And that's what it felt like at times. Or that's what it feels like when you have Miles Garrett against the other, going against your tackles. But regardless of that, who were you thinking I was talking about?
I thought you were I thought you were talking about Cam Taylor Britt. He was trash. Garbage.
So here's the thing, and I had this specifically written down in my notes, Phil. Great preseason. He was off a little bit. Like, he didn't play in every game. It looked by all accounts he had a great camp. He was locked in. However, there were some plays where, bruh, you play cornerback. You play the one position where your hips and your feet should be moving all the time. I don't know why it's already 3 seconds into the play and you're reaching.
Yeah.
Like, I hate that more than anything as a defender. Why are you reaching? Move your feet and go.
Yeah.
Those out routes and everything else that they were hitting on Cam, that's just from a lack of good form and discipline. Bro, move your feet. Your feet should already be chopping and moving a little bit once that ball's hiked. Why are you standing still? You're not Dion. You're not that guy. You're not Revis. Like, seriously. You don't have the athletic ability, and you're a hell of an athlete. You don't have the athletic ability just to kind of wait and go quarterbacks in the throwing your direction. It's not going to work. Right. It's not going to work. And we're talking about Jerry Jeudy. All due respect to him, but I'm not staying up all day. If I'm a defensive coordinator, I'm not staying up all night wondering about Jerry Jeudy and what we got to do to shut him down. He's a serviceable receiver. He's good. I'm not going to say anything like that, but he's also not a superstar. He ain't Jamar. He ain't T. I'm worried about Jamar. I'm worried about Jefferson. I'm worried about all these other guys that we mentioned. I'm not worried about Jerry Jeudy. Like, whatever. Let him get what he needs to. Cam played better than anybody.
Oh, he was balling. It was. I'm like, man, I wish we had that guy. But
CTB was. I don't know what he had going on. I don't know what's. Listen, he got to get that together.
He was targeted 7 times, gave up 6 completions, and the only incompletion was because Tillman dropped it, and he was the one that gave up the touchdown to Tillman that put them up. I mean, he was just getting killed all game long.
And it's funny because, and I'm not saying that CTB is a sauce, but I was reading today, the sauce with the new defense they got going on, he's following. He followed DK
Mm-hmm.
pretty much all day yesterday when they played Pittsburgh. And he only allowed one catch.
Yep.
And he mentioned the pride of just saying, hey, I want to be that guy. I want to be able to, there's some, even the one ball that he caught, he said, I was mad about that. I was upset because if I'm covering you, I want there to be nothing. I don't even want the quarterback to look your way.
Yeah.
And
just forget about him.
Yeah, and I want Cam to have that same type of mentality because you got to look at that stat sheet and say 7 targets and 6 completions. That's just unacceptable. Me and you can go out there and do that.
And on the flip side of that, Dax was also targeted 7 times and gave up 6 completions, but it was only for 32 yards. He kept everything in front of him. Nothing beat him. He didn't miss he didn't miss any tackles, so when you see the 6 completions on 7 targets and just look at that, it can be a little misleading, but it was just how productive those 6 completions was and how bad he looked on those, just being out of position. It wasn't like he allowed him and made the play right there in front of him. He just it was just bad. And then while I brought up Dax, I thought he for him to come off of that injury and come back and start today, week 1, I thought he was the best corner out there today. And he was all over. He played outside. He played most of the game in the slot. He played some in the box. He even lined up a D-line a couple snaps. And on that last drive when we were trying to keep, Cleveland from making any type of run there, he had, I think, 2-3 snaps at free safety. So he was all over the place making plays, and I'm just really happy to see Dax back and able to see him. I think he played every single snap on defense, so that was really encouraging.
100%, man, 100%. I'm really proud of the defense and what they did. Once again, take it with a grain of salt, not to diminish what they accomplished, but the Browns defense isn't going to be setting any kind of records.
No, offense.
The Browns offense isn't going to be setting any kind of records.
For sure.
But credit due, it's still a National Football League. At any given moment, any team can come out there and beat you, can put whatever on you, 40 on you. You still got to go out there and make the plays. So even though we are giving up those completions, like you said, I would prefer them to be in front of me. You're going to give some stuff up in the NFL, especially on the outside. It's the middle of the field that I really, really, really want to make sure that we're taking care of. Whoever's playing slot corner for us, make sure you take away the slant, whether you got to shade the linebacker over to make the quarterback think about it. I don't know, but there was just way too many times when Cleveland needed 3rd and 4, 3rd and 5, they were getting it. The only time they didn't get it is when they dropped the ball. So once again, wins mask everything. But to your point, like you made earlier, if this ends with a loss or if this carries over in the next week, and you have better teams or better offenses coming in and just kind of smacking us around and taking advantage, because I guarantee you right now, Dave Canales is looking at the tape. He's looking at everything Cleveland did, and he's looking at, we got Brian Thomas Jr.
Yeah.
We got Travis Hunter. We have Brenton Strange. We have all these people. We have, ETN who we can put out there in the field. I know Tootin didn't play, but the other dude.
And they just traded Tank, so we're going to see Tootin and ETN, I would imagine. So,
who's the other guy that they had? The other rookie. I don't know why I can't think of him off the top of my head.
Wait, they got another rookie?
I think he's a rookie. Maybe he's not a rookie. Bear with me one second. I was just looking him up. LaQuint Allen.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So I don't know, man. I'm gonna take the win.
For sure.
There's not really much to say outside. I mean, it was ugly. And sometimes you just get it and you run back to Cincinnati and you flush it down. And I'm sure they're already looking on to Jacksonville. The silver lining is I know that everybody in that building knows they can't we can't reach our goals if they continue to play that way.
Yeah. I don't think there's another team. I don't think there's another team on this schedule that you can score 17 points against and win, other than maybe New England. Outside of that, I don't think there's another team on this schedule that you can score 17 points.
I'm not even saying New England. I think New England would beat us in that. They beat us last year with Jacoby Brissett.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And look at this. This is the concerning part that we really haven't even brought up. obviously 17-16 was the final score, but Cleveland had the game plan to win, and that's what's most concerning. If it was closer, that's different. But 35 minutes and 49 seconds time of possession compared to 24-11. That's going to win you a game. All right. Cleveland shot themselves in the foot. They had 7 penalties. We had 7 penalties, kind of even out there. All right. Total yards, 327 to 141. All right. No reason. They outgained us yards per play, 5-3. Turnovers were the main thing that helped us in this game, and the defense showing up timely to make some stops towards the end. Those final 5 drives to not give up any points. That is big time. To not give up any points, even a field goal, is a tall task, especially when it's literally victory or defeat hanging in the balance. I can't give the defense enough credit. However, I don't see our defense being world beaters and something that we can depend on for them to do that every single week. I would love for that to happen. Too early in the season, need a larger sample size, but you don't feel good about it. It's almost like winning from default or winning. It's the Thunder, right? The Thunder this past year won Game 7, won the NBA Finals, but they had to deal with the fact that Tyrese Halliburton went down. So yeah, we won the finals, but there's a little bit of we didn't beat them at full strength.
Right.
And that's kind of how this game is. Like, and forget the full strength part, but just we won, but we really, I don't want to say shoulda, woulda. These are professional athletes. They lay it all on the line. But you can't feel good about that win. There shouldn't have been any celebrating on the plane. No, none of that. We got to clean this up. We got to get better. We squeaked away with one. As I always like to say, the first one's free. The second one, they're going to tax you. We got our free one out the way early in the year.
Yep.
And now we got to make sure we lock in. Now, if we have the same thing next week, Phil, then I'll hold the picket sign with you.
There we go.
I'll hold the picket sign with you. But I'm going to give them another week since we did accomplish what our main goal was, which is getting that dub.
For sure. Just I think about 2 stats that really stick with me as we wrap this up and we look at this week 1 victory, and we have already touched on both of them. I did not think that we would be here talking about the lowest offensive output in the Zach Taylor era with those 141 yards. The next lowest one was week 1 2023 when Joe Burrow was dealing with the calf strain, and we know
was that in Cleveland in the rain?
That was the Cleveland one. Yep.
Oh, that was awful.
The other 4 either had Brandon Allen starting or Andy Dalton starting. So that kind of tells you how bad offensively we were Sunday. And then on the flip side of that, you talked about how good we were against the run. Cleveland started the game with a 5-yard run. Didn't get another run that was more than 5 yards the rest of the game. So that was really beautiful to see the defense really stand up and be stout against the run. It's one thing for teams to be able to pass on you because, you said it, and I still believe it despite what I've been saying throughout the podcast today. I truly believe this offense can score with anybody, on anybody. So, if we can be stout against the run, which a team like Cleveland is traditionally good in the run game, if we can be stout in the run, I think this team can go places. So really encouraging to see there. And I would just love to see a complete game. I would love to see the offense and the defense clicking together. And, the way that Buffalo and Baltimore was putting up 40 on each other, that should be us.
No, you're absolutely right. And that's going to be the key point that I'll wrap up with. You want to see the complete game sooner rather than later. We don't need a complete game in week 11, week 12 when that's our first time doing it. We want to I wanted to see the complete game week 1. Now, try not to speak on other teams, especially people in our division. Something's got to be studied with these double-digit leads that Harbaugh gives up.
Yeah.
The only reason I'm bringing this up is because they were clicking on all cylinders. Buffalo's a high-powered offense, but there's no reason, going back to what you just said, why we shouldn't have put up those same type of numbers. we have just as good, if not better, offense as the Ravens, as Buffalo. And the most impressive thing is they did it week 1, right? You come out the gate on that. You don't want to come out the gate with 17 points and just really struggling to get by. So, yeah, next week I would love to see us put up 35, 38 and look good on both sides of the ball. If we win this game 38-14, I'll be very happy with that. That means that we're exactly where I think we should be, and that puts us in a because week 3 we got some D coordinators that we got to go see.
Yeah,
Jim Schwartz was one of them.
Mm-hmm.
I think their defense did enough to win that game. The offense just kind of stalled out, as we mentioned. I don't even know who the defense coordinator is for Jacksonville. I'll look that up as I do some prep for this week. But I do know that Brian Flores is on that sideline when we go to Minneapolis, and that's not going to be a short task. The Vikings are chasing Caleb Williams around as we speak right now, and he's going to game plan and prep. And the thing about defense, man, defensive players, defensive coaches, man, they just got a different mindset, man. They're just not right in the head. Like, they take pride in just wrecking your life. And they're going to take pride in making Joe Burrow look silly and making that offensive line look silly. And if we don't go out there and punch them in the mouth first, it was going to be a long day.
For sure.
Go ahead.
I was going to say the Jags defensive coordinator is Anthony Campanella. First-time defensive coordinator. Previously was linebackers coach for the Packers and the Dolphins. So, he's, I think, early 40s, so fairly younger, a lot of experience coaching though, but first year as a coordinator, so hopefully we can take advantage of that.
I got you, man. Real quick on the injury news, Lucas Patrick will be out for a few games. Sounds like Dalton Reisner, but I'll be calling him Risner the whole time. Dalton Reisner will be stepping in at that right guard position. That's what we signed up for. We wanted him to start. It made sense. He didn't really have a camp with us, but now you're called into duty. Let's see if that completes this offensive line. Get more than 2 yards per rush, more than 49 yards rushing. I want to see that. Do you have any game balls? One other thing, because we didn't talk about special teams at all. Shout out to McPherson. He made his one field goal. Also, shout out to Ryan. Ryan, at the most crucial point of this game, had a punt that landed on the 1 yard line. I mean, obviously special teams corralled it and made sure they downed it there. But that was a big, big, big time play. And that's one of the things that I will say as a takeaway. When we needed those big plays, we ended up making them in all facets of the game. Outside of offense. Because I had no faith that if the Browns would have made that field goal, I had zero faith. And that's crazy to say with our offense. I had zero faith that we were going to come down and score.
Right, for sure.
So, that is what it is. You got any game balls? I'll tell you right now, mine goes to Al Golden.
I love it. I'm gonna go give mine the Dax Hill. I know I talked about him a bit earlier and how important I thought he was in Sunday's win. So mine will go to Dax Hill, and I got to give an honorable mention, a game ball shout out to Corey Bajorquez, whatever the kicker's name is, number 25, I think. Wearing the running back number is probably why he missed those 2 kicks, but shout out to him. Really no, that's the punter. I'm thinking of the punter. Andre Smits, I think was his name. Shout out to him. Hey, man. The rookie field goal kicker. I don't know why they didn't just bring K York back. He balled for us last year. So
hey man, you could have got Matt Prater. I told
shout out to the Browns, man. Shout out to Andre.
Shout out to them, man, for gifting us that dub. We talked about it when we were texting. Watching the Sunday night football game, just Matt Prater took the red eye from Arizona to Buffalo
and won the game.
Kicked the game winner. Yeah. If you looked at Matt Prater on the sideline, I was sitting there looking at. I texted you. I said Matt Prater looked like he got gambling debt. He looked like the kicker. He looks like the kicker from the replacements. That, he just out there because he really need that bread. He should be home kicking up his feet somewhere.
They said when he showed up, a lot of guys thought he was a coach. They was like, "Oh, we got a new coach."
I believe it. I believe it, man. Matt Prater out there looking crazy on the block. But shout out to him for getting that dub. I don't know if it was a week 1 game, but I was just watching the clip earlier. This could just be Browns curse. I just want to put a little salt in the wound. I forget what year it was when they played the Chiefs and they had the game won 29-27. And dude, number 57, I can't remember his name. Some people out there might took off his helmet. middle of the play and tossed it, and that ended up with a defensive penalty. You can't end the game on a defensive penalty. Only reason I brought this up is because Morton Anderson is the one who kicked the game-winning field goal. He was the oldest. He was the oldest player in the league at that time, and I just thought about Matt Prater looking like the oldest player in the league. When I saw them paying to him on the sideline, bro, the only thing that was missing was him ripping a cigarette. Like if he would have been ripping a cig, that would have made my day. Because I'm like, what is Matt Prater out here doing? But shout out to them, man. Shout out to Gucci. Shout out to them for getting that dub. It's still smoke when we see y'all December 14th. We got y'all numbered. But before we get there, we got a lot of other things to take care of, including Jacksonville next week. So we talked about some of the things that we just need to clean up. It's hard to really go into deep analysis when you're this early in the season. When you have a game that ugly, you just take the victory and you move on. That's what we're doing here. We're celebrating Victory Monday, and we're looking to do it next week as well. If you're in Cincinnati, if you're not in Cincinnati, if you're nearby, make sure you show up, Paycor Stadium, tailgate, get ready, show up in orange. Let's get that first home win of the season. I would love to go undefeated at home this year. And we've talked about this before, really not too many better environments watching a football game than at Paycor. And you might not think it. It might not be your first thought, but I'll never forget we played was this the Eagles game last year? Might have been the Eagles, but I just remember, and mind you, that's Philly. Like Philly is the ultimate sports town. I'll never forget the dude in front of me was a Phillies fan, Eagles fan. And he looked back at me and said, "Y'all staying the whole time?" I said, "Yeah." Ain't no sitting, bro. Ain't no sitting, bro. We up. We at it. Yeah. We only sit during breaks. Or halftime. So yeah, man, Paycor is a great environment. Let's get in there and get that week 1 win. Phil, you got anything else before we get out of here?
Yeah, I know you said we weren't going to speak on division opponents, rivals, that sort of thing, but I forget where I heard it, who said it, but it feels much better to wake up a Bengals fan with this 1-0 ugly win than it does to wake up a Baltimore fan 0-1 with that ugly loss. Because, man,
that's a fact.
When you put up 40 and lose, that's a tough pill to swallow. So, yeah, shout out.
Ravens and Browns fan, obviously they have shared they're intertwined, as we all know. But I'm sure both of those fan bases are waking up like, I'd have rather got blown out.
Yep.
Those are the games I'd rather get. I'd rather it be 40-7, we flush it and move on. Don't 15 with 4 something left. Literally, we tried everything we could to get the Browns a win. You can't convert on the small things. Those are tough. And the only bad thing about yesterday was the fact that the Steelers won. So, I ain't really worried about them either. But we got to take care of home. We got to take care of what we got to do. That's the main thing. So for all you Bengals fans out there, we appreciate you tuning in. I do want to give some love to Tony Blaze. He did give us a shout out on YouTube. Houday, good show. We appreciate you. Please continue to lock in with us. For all of you, please remember to like, subscribe, share. Tell a friend to tell a friend. That's the quickest and easiest way. Phil and myself will try to get creative this year. Maybe try to do some giveaways. Of some sort. We're not sure what it is yet. I think we did the T. Higgins one last year. Even though I don't know if we ended up doing that because I think he was trying to give us jersey away if he signed by a certain. I can't remember what it was. Either way, we're going to try to be more interactive for y'all. Just continue to like, comment, share. Let us know what you think about the show. And we look forward to 17 more weeks of this.
Yes, sir. 19.
All right. 19. Nah, you're right. Even more than that, actually. Up until the middle of February.
Yeah, we're gonna get that 1 seed, so 19.
We don't plan on wrapping this up until middle of February. Talking about Bengals football all the way until Valentine's Day weekend.
Yeah.
So yeah, man, it's gonna be a lovely date, man. Get your loved one something. With that being said, we'll catch y'all next week. Most importantly, Houday.